Sorry you have to sit there.
And number
Welcome.
100. When you were number 100, you stand between the panelists and lunch. So I appreciate very much the time that you all put into talking with me, knowing that I was going to be the last person to ask you questions. But because most of you have a significant footprint in the state of California, I thought it important on behalf of the 40 million California residents to sit here the entire time and represent their interests across this industry. I'm glad our ranking member made his way back as the newest member of the Senate. I'm still getting to know my colleagues, and I wanted a ranking member to know that I do agree with him on a key point that he made in his opening remarks, and that is the majority of the American people who are watching this broadcast, particularly who are still watching, are not talking about nor have any interest in Basel III Endgame. They are talking about fairness and fees and affordability. And so that is where I want to land my two questions. I want to, and it's honestly not to pick on anyone, but really in the space and intention of moving things along. I want to pick up on Senator Smith's point around algorithms and algorithmic deployment. Ms. Frazier, you and I spoke about this as it relates to customer account closures. We talked specifically about the November 5th New York Times article in which Citi was specifically mentioned, a customer of yours who owned a bar and who was making bar-like deposits, end-of-day cash deposits in round amounts so that they could actually keep petty cash on hand to be able to make change at the bar, and found themselves the victim of an account closure due to what the algorithm determined was suspicious activity. Can you talk more about the process that you have deployed across Citi to give customers confidence that when you are doing your due diligence as a significant global investment institution, when you are doing your due diligence to provide and enhance national security, how do those American people who are still watching, who are still listening, who will hear this back, how can they have confidence that their credit isn't going to be negatively impacted, that you're going to return their whatever remaining balance that they may have on time in a way that they can actually get their bills paid due to no wrongdoing of their own?
Senator, thank you very much for the question. Thank you also for sitting through the entirety of the hearings today. You raise a really important point. I think all of us want to protect our customers. There's a tremendous amount of fraud. There's cyber probably keeps us awake at night. We want to do a good job for our customers. We want to look after them and enable them to live their lives and their financial lives securely. We have money laundering requirements that are very significant, in which we're not allowed to go and then tell the customer why it is we've closed their account. And I think all of us appreciate how frustrating that is for our customers, but we must follow the law. You and I have also talked about when it's found out that a customer's account has been closed in error or for some other reason, or there's been fraud blocks, how do we then help them recover their funds quickly? And that, again, I think there is no bank CEO on this table that does not want to help a customer to do that. And we're very happy to follow up with you on what are different ways that can be achieved. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for extending that opportunity to continue to figure out ways that this body can act to protect not only California customers, but people who are banking with your institutions around the country. My last question, Mr. Diamond, you and I also talked about this. As the representative from California, it is critical that I represent those voices on affordability and home affordability. In particular, your institution has done an incredible amount on this issue, and I want to applaud and recognize you for that. The other On the other hand, the other issue that I raised with you is just a concern of this intersection of both a declaration and a support for investing in affordable housing and making mortgages more affordable for low and middle income families, and the practice of financial institutions in buying real estate development purely for the purposes of putting it up for rent. Those two things seem to be in opposite and in contrast to me. And there was a report of JP specifically in California about this behavior. And I'd love to give you the opportunity to talk to Californians about how you are meeting both of those obligations, the obligation to provide more affordable housing, help to create more access to the American dream, and at the same time, buying more and more single-family residential properties where they are going to be only available for renting.
Right. So thank you for
Mr.
the
Diamond, be
question.
brief if you
Yeah,
would.
thank you for the question, Senator. Love affordable housing, do a lot of it, as do a lot of the banks up here. We can make mortgages much lower cost for lower size mortgages. I've been dying to work on that for 10 years now. I think that you're referring to an instance where we financed a company which is building homes, and it's, I think, 200 homes for rental. Remember, rental is appropriate for some people. And so I understand your concern, and I'll look into the specific thing, but building more homes is good for affordable housing.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Senator Butler, thank you. Thanks to the 8 of you